Hey everyone, good morning. It is Travis Lima here, and today we are on episode number 20 of Travis's Tip of the Day. And I am joined by another fellow PM Pro team member, Theuns. Theuns, how's it going over there?
It's going lovely. We have beautiful rain today, so I'm joyous, and it's a good day today.
Fantastic. So, for anyone watching, if you have ever opened up a support ticket or a support topic on our member support forum, chances are that you've run into Theuns at some point in time. He's the big old friendly guy who gets you sorted out in no time. So, Theuns is actually a technical support engineer as well as a developer here at Paid Memberships Pro. And he's gotten a bunch of good reviews from his top quality customer support. And so I decided to ask him if he'd like to join us on today's Travis's Tip of the Day. And he's got some interesting stuff to show us. So, Theuns, why don't you sort of give us a little bit of an overview of what we can expect from your demo today?
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. Today, I'm going to focus on customizing a date field in the for the registration. Sometimes you want a client to enter a date. We've often had people ask if we can't integrate a date picker for it to make it easier for them to select a date instead of having to manually enter one. So we worked on a customization recipe to implement this, and today I will show you how you can customize your registration field to offer a date field with a JavaScript date picker embedded in it.
Fantastic. Yes, sorry. Continue, Theuns.
No.
Are you ready? Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to demo.
Great. Okay. So what I'm going to do, Theuns, is I'm going to actually bring up your screen now so we can see your Must Love Dogs demo site, and you are ready to go. I hope you don't mind. I might just ask a couple of questions along the way. And for anyone joining us, if you do have any questions for myself or Theuns as we do this demo, please drop a comment down in the comment section below, and I will be sure to try and get an answer for you. So Theuns, with that, you can take it away.
Thank you very much, Travis. Okay, on our beautiful Must Love Dogs demo site, we're going to register as a user. And on the registration field, let me just quickly clear the save name there. We've got company name, position, and years in operation and the payment. But we want a bit of additional information. And as we all know, you can add additional information using the register helper. So let's say we want to know if the company belongs to an association, and since when have they been an accredited member for that association. So those two fields we'll be adding now. So I'm going to start off with creating a custom field for it. I'm going to switch to my editor quickly. For demonstration purposes, I'm working on a local site, and here's my editor and the PM Pro customization file in the PM Pro customization plugins. So for the date editor, we've got a ready-made recipe that I'm going to copy and integrate into this.
Theuns, and just correct me if I'm wrong with the tooltip code recipe that you've just pasted in. This isn't currently available on our blog. We should probably still write about this, or do you know if this has been released already?
No, it's a little secret script. Okay. I've recently only recently updated and completed the enhancements that I wanted in it. So
Okay.
the blogging about it will still come up. It's a good idea. I think a lot of people have asked for it, and a lot of people can benefit from it.
Great, fantastic. So, if you are following along with this live stream, then this is the first look at this date picker functionality that you are getting a look at. So, okay, with that, Theuns, feel free to continue. So, you've pasted in the code, and this is some of the register helper fields that we're going to use, right? So, what's next?
That's correct. I've copied and I've pasted the code. The code is based on a jQuery date picker. There's a link in there if you want to further customize and tweak the date picker that you can follow to see what options are available for it. So what this now offers is just the example date field. It uses a register helper text field, and it enters the date via jQuery that we're adding a bit lower down in the script, adding into it. So now we need to create an additional form field for the registration name. So since this is a text field, I'm going to copy that exact field. And I just quickly want to fields equals a. And then we're going to add association. Our field name will be association name. And we're going to ask people to enter the association name they're registered to, please. Okay, we do want to we do want to show it on the profile, so we're setting profile true. We do want to include this information when we export our members list, so we set that as true. We apologies. We do want to be able to add this field when we're using add member from admin. Class date picker, that's from the copy. We don't need that for the field. And read only true. No, we don't need that because we want people to be able to enter data into this field. And for the next, yes.
Theuns, do you mind if I just jump in here and just get some people up to speed? If this looks completely foreign to you, Theuns is basically adding in some custom fields using our Paid Memberships Pro Register Helper add-on. And essentially, he is creating these fields by using some, lines of code. If you need some more information about how to actually go about doing this, you can view our Register Helper documentation. I will put it up on the screen in a little while. This particular video, we are kind of like jumping over the basics and actually showing you how to set up a date picker using Register Helper, Paid Memberships Pro, and a bit of jQuery, I believe, Theuns, you mentioned, or?
That's correct, yes.
So it is slightly more advanced, and if you need a little bit of the basics done, we do have a couple of videos. I'm going to pull this up while Theuns continues in a moment, and you can just have a look at our documentation in your own time. Sorry for interrupting, Theuns. Please feel free to go ahead.
Perfect, Travis. Thank you very much. So we just while Travis has been talking, I've just entered the appropriate field names so we can recognize in the code what we're referencing to. So so we're first going to ask the client to add an association name, and then asking them to enter the date for which from which they registered with the association. So let me just complete that. For now, to give you an idea, I'm going to, this depends on the class we're assigning to it. So I'm going to hide that to give you a good idea of what a text field is without the date picker.
Fantastic. I think that's a great idea, Theuns.
Where is my... Okay, there's my screen. Let's go back to the site. Let's refresh our... Okay, so there is our association name field we entered and registered since. Please enter a date registered. So a plain text field, you can only enter data. So enter data manually. So we want to make it easier for people by simply clicking and picking something. The field is still blocked because there's, I believe there's CSS in the code as well that blocks it. Oh, that's the read only. Let me quickly unblock that and refresh. So instead of 2010,
instead of sort of manually entering it.
And there, when you enter manually, often there's a little slip on the keyboard. People can make mistakes, and especially if you want to, at a later stage, work programmatically with that date, it's important that the date is entered in the correct format in your database.
Yes.
And just to get the correct date, even for displaying, because we all know there's no month with 50 days in it. The JavaScript picker will help avoid the small little flaws that we as humans like to make so often. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to go back to the code, and we're just going to re-enable that read only and the class.
So Theuns, just to be clear on this, you actually need to have the read-only attribute for this specific piece of code to work with the jQuery date picker. Is that correct?
That is a great question, Travis. Yes, we're setting the field as read-only because we need to avoid users being able to manually change it, because there's still the possibility that if someone can manually change it, the date can be put in incorrectly. So we're trying to avoid as much as possible input errors from the user side. Having it read only and only allowed to enter the data using the JavaScript date picker is important in that fact. Okay, so any questions before I jump back?
No, I think I only had the read-only question, so I'm ready to see this in action.
Great stuff. So now you click in the box, and a date picker album pops up, which makes it easier. You can select, the user can now select months, years, or scroll through and then pick a date. And that's as easy as that. So just to give you a highlight of what can be tweaked in this, there is some custom code that adds a drop shadow behind the calendar to make it easier to highlight or pop the calendar out from the field. That custom code is created in this section where it says customize the style and layout for the jQuery date picker there, and we target it according to the ID assigned to the field, the CSS ID assigned to the field. Mm-hmm. of the element. So you can either, if you want to remove that, you can remove this piece, or if you want to tweak it to suit your own conditions, this is the bit that you can edit.
Fantastic.
Another important thing is the jQuery call for the date picker at the top here are important factors to pay attention to. Date format, apologies. We need to keep the date format year, month, and day as it sits here, as programmatically code works, accepts date in that way and reads date in that way. What you can tweak with the form is year range. Let me quickly switch back. You, for instance, if your field is, if you want someone to put a date in the future, you don't want them to battle and scroll back to 1920, or it's not applicable. So there you can tweak. Here you can tweak what year range you want to offer users. So if we're working with a future or future dates, we can say only offer them from 2020 to 2021. And now they only have those 2 years available to select from. So if they need to book something in January 2021, and that enables them to do that. Then furthermore, all sites have different styles and layouts. So we sometimes, the default layout might not suit your particular need. There are, apologies, there are possible styles available from the jQuery library that we're including. Here at the bottom, there is a section that gives you a brief overview of available styles. Let's say we want let's go for smoothness.
It's nice that they have thought to build in a few themes or styles just to try and accommodate.
It is extremely handy. Building custom themes is time consuming at best. Okay, I'm just going to comment that line out. You can change it or just comment it out. Let me just copy the name so I don't make a spelling mistake. Smoothness, right. And now it's got a more elegant layout, and this way you can pick different styles and themes for it. Some of them has a bit more color, and then obviously from if you're an experienced developer, you can go to jQuery, download those styles, theme styles, and customize them to suit your specific site. And there's a total different look and feel that you can enter. And that's the goodies for this one.
Awesome. Fantastic. Theuns, thank you very much. I can see that it is very useful, and as we mentioned, that this isn't currently up on our blog just yet. Theuns was just recently finished working on that, as I saw by some of the dates that he had on his GitHub repository that he brought up earlier. So if you enjoyed this episode, we have had a couple of people asking for more technical Travis's tip of the days. And we had one yesterday where Andrew Lima did a bit of a walkthrough with Stripe and getting set up with that and setting up webhooks, etc. And this one was fantastic in the way that we set up a couple of custom fields and then integrated a jQuery date picker with that field, just trying to make it a little bit more user-friendly for a customer to select a date and make sure that it's all, formatted correctly as it's needed in the database, etc. So, Theuns, I would like to thank you very much for joining me on Travis's Tip of the Day. I found it very useful, and I'm excited to try and use it in my own setups. And so everyone, that is the last tip of the day for the week, and I will be back on Monday for Travis's Tip of the Day, episode 21. Please feel free to leave a comment or a question down in the, wherever you are watching this video, and I will get back to you shortly. Theuns, thank you very much, friend.
Pleasure very much, and thank you everyone for your time.
Okay, bye everyone. Have a good weekend.